Hey, 8B, Henry here. So, our planet is an amazing place. So many variations of everything, from animals to plants to humans. But how dangerous are the stars we look up at night? So, red dwarfs. They're quite small because they're a dwarf, and they're also red, hence the name. So, what's special about them? Well, the special thing is, they are incredibly bad or inefficient at burning hydrogen because they take fucking forever. Like 1 trillion years, like come on, hurry up. But I don't know, it's quite interesting now because their burn rate is so slow. Not even one of them has turned into a black dwarf, a more or less dead dwarf star. Our sun is also categorized as a dwarf star because it is quite small in its size, but in its volume it's quite big. It's quite hefty. It's got a bit of weight on it. It's got a bit of bulkiness. But what would happen if our sun would die? Well, first of all, we would have to wait 5 billion years because it'll take some time. But if we were 5 billion years in the future, our star would have almost used all of its hydrogen up. So, what would that mean? That means it would start swelling up, trying to create more heat through pressuring the core. It means it would expand, turn into an orange and then a red giant. What would this mean? Well, it would mean we'll be fucked. Because it would be so close to us, we would be more or less eviscerated off the face of the Earth. The face of the Earth would also be burnt off because the heat would be so intense at that point. But by then we probably would die because, I don't know, Korea. So, yeah, me. So, what happens after this stage of red giantness? Well, it would start to lose off its mass because the gravity could not hold it together, so it would just fly off like cum. And then, well, the only thing that would be left would be a white dwarf, more or less just the core of the star, which is just a tightly packed core full of electrons, neutrons and protons, mainly actually electrons. And after a while this white dwarf is bright, but it will just start to fade out after another 1 trillion years. But what happens if a massive star dies? There are some stars in this universe that are huge. So huge. Some of them would have the diameter of our entire elliptical rotation around the sun. Not rotation, orbit, sorry. But, that's amazing, isn't it? An object that big. What would happen if it would die? Well, firstly we have to see why a sun like this would die. So, we're talking of the size of supergiants that are the colour blue or orange, depending on what type of star it is. I mean, we have Betelgeuse, which is probably one of the biggest stars we've found, if I'm not wrong. Am I right, Bubsy? So, what happens? Well, firstly, a star always burns through its hydrogen first. Then it doesn't burn through it, it fuses it together to make it helium. This takes about a few billion years, give or take. But what happens when helium starts to fuse together? Then it turns into different elements. Then it goes on through an entire chain from magnesium to carbon, until you reach a point where you have silicon. Now there's a problem with this, because when silicon fuses together, you get iron. But why is that a bad thing? Well, all the elements before it would have created energy when it is fused, but iron is a bit of a cunt. Iron uses heat, or absorbs heat when it is fused, so what happens now? Well, the core starts to shrink to a point because the iron is being built in the core, because that's where the silicon was before, so iron is being built in the core, right? That means it's drawing in more heat, which is making the core denser. more packed than it already is, because the sun is as dense as a motherfucker. So, it's getting denser and denser and denser, and there are two scenarios that can happen. Either it shrinks down not enough, or where its gravity is still sustainable for the core to be a core, and then in a supernova happens, whatever. A supernova, just for clarity, is the biggest fucking explosion to ever explosions. You get me? So these explosions of supernova, that's more or less definitely start after iron is being built in the core. And also, whilst this explosion of supernova happens, other elements are also created in this explosion, which is also quite interesting, because that's where all our heavy metals come from these explosions. But what happens afterwards? Well, most of the matter is blown out into the universe, but what remains is a neutron star, or a magnetar, and those fuckers are weird. But what else is weird is the second scenario. But for more information about what happens then, please, this March, come to my VWRA. It's going to be a great presentation about black holes. And because you're all such lovely people, you'll be there with open ears, open minds, and hopefully closed mouths. I'm looking at you, poor man. If you laugh, I will strangulate you. But these explosions, these supernovae, they're more or less the birth of stars and new planets. Because of the remnants around them, gravity is created and new things are born. It is suspected also our solar system was created by a previously died star. So, if you can't take anything else away from this video apart from my awesome English, Martin's great editing, and my fucking hilarious mannerisms, then we are all made out of stardust. And that's fucking nice. See you next time.